There are 20 different pottery sherds you can find in Minecraft. I collected 4 of every kind. It was a lot of archaeology. This took more than 40 hours of gameplay to complete. My efforts took me all across the world to some very cool places. Join me as I collect every pottery sherd in Minecraft. These videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so if you like the video, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. To start off this journey, I need to get to the Nether. Haven't done that yet. The Nether is very, very scary. It's a scary place, and I need to be ready for it. But even though the Nether is scary, nothing could have prepared me for this moment. That was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. It wasn't even because of the game, it was because my computer is really slow. I took a minute to recover from that, started decorating a little bit. I made my very first set of diamond armor, and I am looking shiny. Set up an area for an enchanting table, and began to enchant the best I could with the little bookshelves that I had at the time. Covered in protection too, I thought, yeah, that's good enough. Let's go to the Nether. I had a terrible Nether spawn up super high, so I had to dig down, but as I was digging down, I saw a bastion. A big boy, spooky building bastion. I figured I could make a little trip out of it. I forgot that your shield can be broken by axes, and I kind of forgot about how brutal the brutes are. After many attempts, I managed to escape with my diamond boots. I was able to snag the most important treasures on my way out. Pig step, a little nether wart, and some soul speed, and I got myself out of there as quickly as I could. I spent way too much time trying to get my stuff back from this. After another couple hours of wandering around this horrible nether spawn, I finally found a fortress. This is what I really came here for. I need to make some potions and heal up my villagers, so gotta get those blaze. After weeks of just chilling here, these guys finally get to be healed, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know if they are, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm gonna build something more fancy for them later, but right now I'm gonna make a temporary bunker type situation so I can have a space to start working with my villagers. We're gonna make a city out of these guys. Once they were healed up, I released them to go to their beds and locked them down there. I'm sure it's much more comfortable than the boats they were chilling in. I like to start with a farmer for automatic breeding and a fletcher because easy emeralds. Then I began the tedious process of getting enchanted books. I got a great deal on a mending book, and this was just the beginning. Now I need these guys to have some babies so that I can have an army of villager librarians. To begin my archaeology journey, took a brush and some doors, headed out to the oceans, and started archaeologing away. It was really exciting how many pottery sherds I started finding. I grew to know all of these structures really well and appreciate the tiny details they added. There's also some pretty good loot sometimes too. From warm ocean coral reefs to the deepest cold ocean depths. Looking for these little ruins took me thousands of blocks away from home, traveling the furthest I have since I started this world. Also on my journeys, I came across my very first mushroom island. Even though it was so tiny, like so small, little baby mushroom. I took a little nap on the island, appreciated its simple beauty, and excitedly went along my journey. When I got home, I tallied up my findings so far and headed back down to check on my little villagers. They had in fact had a little baby, and of course, baby needs job. Put down several more beds because we want more babies. When I was out in the oceans, I realized I needed better armor, not just for combat, but for swimming as well. I always like having really good ocean enchants on my armor, like Aqua Affinity, Respiration, Depth Strider. I wanted to get these enchants and just beef up my armor in general. Directly below my house, there's a mine shaft with a spider spawner, and these actually make really good XP farms, so I made a little spider spawner XP farm to help me not only enchant, but heal up my armor and tools. Then it was back to hours and hours of working with librarians. When I said I want to beef up my armor and my tools, I really mean it. I don't want to die anymore. I want to be tough. When I work with librarians, the first 4 books I always go for are Unbreaking, Efficiency, Mending, and Protection. Once I got those, I kind of went wild and just got whatever great deals I could find. I give each of my villagers a name tag letting me know which book they have to make it easy to find. Then it was back to recreating my diamond armor and enchanting it with some beef. Now it was time to take my newfound power and ocean-friendly enchants back to the sea. We've got some more digging to do, friends. I was having a lot of fun in the oceans and ended up getting a little bit more of the pottery than I needed to, without even realizing it. On my way home, I got a little bit lost and found a huge glacier biome, which was super exciting for me. And get this, next to the glacier biome, there was another mushroom biome. This one was more like a collection of mushroom islands. It was a lot more impressive than the tiny little island I had found before. I headed back home to do a little bit more decorating, check up on my villagers, and make some pottery. For the next part of my pottery journey, I'm gonna need to be able to travel further and faster than I have before. So we gotta take a quick detour to the end. As I was wandering around the stronghold, I came across these deep slate tiles, and I was a little confused because I didn't think that these generated naturally, but I also had never been to an ancient city before. There is an ancient city directly on top of this stronghold. I don't know the odds of that, but this is crazy. I will definitely be coming back here later to explore, but I am not ready for this right now. I have to make another adventure out of that one. My goal is to beat the dragon today without dying. I've never done that before, but I feel really confident in my abilities now, and we'll see if I can pull it off. Fought the dragon and beat him without dying. The only casualties were all the Endermen that were going after the dragon. I'm super proud of myself. This was a huge deal for me. But we're not done. Now, I entered this portal fully expecting to be spending a few hours wandering around the end to find an end city. They're right here. There's one right here. How did that happen? I've never seen that before. I got really lucky on this seed apparently. Makes up for the terrible nether spawn that I had. At least I get a really good end. And this end city even had an elytra too, so I did not have to go far to get this. It's a good day, okay? It's a good day for me. Back at the stronghold, I found the library and looted it for everything it was worth. I literally took everything. I took all the books. I'm gonna use these books for a build I'm doing soon, but that's to be announced. I put all of my most valuable things in an ender chest just in case I die on the way home, and set off to make my journey back through the Nether. Luckily, I made it home safely. I had already been where this nether portal spawned and I had made a path back home, so it was really easy. I am so proud of myself. I've been playing so good today. I'm gonna reward myself with some decorating time. Now it's time to try out my new wings and take to the skies for the next part of my adventure. I found a massive taiga biome, a biome with a lot of snow and old growth taiga, just taiga as far as the eye can see. I figured this is one of the best spots I can find trail ruins. I had a feeling this was gonna take me a while, and I was right. So I made a little temporary base, a cabin where I can hang out, organize my things, and also it's just kind of fun to build things, so. For the record, this was my very first diagonal build. I think it turned out pretty okay, and I really like the floor. I think it looks good. I started traversing the taiga to try and find some trail ruins, and stumbled across this pink sheep. I put him in a boat, wrote down the coordinates, and then I just kind of left him there. Anyway. With my little taiga cabin finished, it was time to wander. And wander. And wander a lot. It took forever to find these, you guys. This was the longest part of this video. The longest part was trying to find these trail ruins. It was getting dark and I decided I would take a little nap so I didn't have to deal with monsters. And when I woke up, what? My first trail ruin was just sitting there, just chilling, right where I decided to take a nap. If I had not done that, I don't think I would have seen this. That makes me mad. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. That's not allowed, okay? But yeah, I found my first trail ruin and started to excavate it. The trail ruins are probably one of my favorite additions with the new Archaeology update. These are cool and they're big. There was so much to uncover and it took so long. It mostly took so long because I didn't want to break any of the suspicious gravel. It's very delicate, because I couldn't really dig with my nice fancy efficiency 4 shovel without breaking things a lot, so I stuck to digging by hand. These trail ruins were huge, and just look at this giant lush cave underneath. I did explore that a bit and found myself a little axolotl. These trail ruins feel like they have a lot of history to them, and there's so many little details. I did not realize how many different rooms you can find within these ruins. This trail ruin even had a little shrine in it, like a creeper shrine thing. I don't know, that was pretty cool. After my first trail ruin, I did not have enough pottery shards. There's so many for these, so I had to wander around and find another. It didn't take too long to find the next one, although there was still a lot of wandering. I now have a new least favorite sound in Minecraft, and it's when suspicious gravel breaks. Ugh. It makes me hurt. It physically gives me pain to hear that. And the worst part is I'm never gonna know what was inside of that gravel. After even more wandering, I came across my third trail ruin. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. This was absolutely my least favorite part of finding pottery. There's some pretty great loot you can find in these though. A lot of armor trims and even a new music disc. By the end of trail ruin number 3, I had almost everything I needed. I wanted 4 of every pottery sherd, and I finally got that after number 3, except for this one. The sheaf pottery sherd. For some reason, I could only find 2 of these in 3 different ancient ruins, so... Now it was time to go to yet another trail ruin to just look for the sheaf sherd. I hate this sherd. Anyway, let's go. And on to trail ruin number 4. Every time I was brushing up a pottery sherd, my heart stopped a little bit. And every time, it wasn't a sheaf sherd. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Oh, heartbreak, no. I bet that was it. I bet that was 2 sheaf sherds right in there and I just broke them both. I excavated this entire ruin and did not get 1 single sheaf sherd. This is starting to become a little bit torturous. After a lot more wandering, I stumbled across trail ruin number 5. My patience has been tested, but I am determined. I am going to get this pottery sherd. That's right, I found one. I freaking found one! And now I just needed 1 more. And you guys, I could not have planned this better. I went into the back. This was the very end of this trail ruin, but there was a piece of suspicious gravel back there. And by some kind of miracle, it was another sheaf sherd. I was so relieved. I immediately got myself out of there. I'm done with the trail ruins task. As cool as they are, I don't think I'm ever gonna excavate one of these ever again. It was time to say goodbye to the taiga biome and triumphantly head back home. I brought home my axolotl friend and gave him his house. And I did a tiny bit more decorating before I left for the desert. I flew about 4,000 blocks away to find a massive desert biome. Luckily, this desert had a lot of villages, temples, and ruin portals. To find the desert pottery sherds, you need to find 2 types of naturally generated structures, desert temples and desert wells. While the trail ruins are my favorite structure added to the archaeology update, looking through the desert temples ended up being my favorite type of archaeology to actually do. On the other hand, the desert wells were my least favorite structure to excavate, but I'll get to that later. The desert temples were already a cool structure in the game, and now they've added a secret room you can uncover. The best part is, there are high chances of getting good loot in desert temples. Usually diamonds, emeralds, pottery sherds, and TNT. The new room you can uncover in the desert temples is hidden under sand. Each temple has one, and once fully uncovered, it has a little staircase, entrance, and little divots to have a similar structure to the treasure room found deep in the center of the temple. The only thing I would add to this It would be a nice detail to have another chest or two generate down there, like in the other treasure room, even if they don't have good loot in them. But that's just me. Just on the edge of the desert, I saw this little grassland village and decided to rest there for a bit. I also ended up making a new friend. While excavating my first desert well, I started to feel a sense of dread. There were only 2 or 3 pieces of suspicious sand to brush in this entire well, and I only got emeralds and suspicious stew. I dug all around the sides just in case, but no luck. There's supposed to be a 25% chance of getting a pottery sherd here, but I got none. There are bound to be more desert wells around here, right? Right? I'm still missing one warm ocean pottery sherd, so I stopped a few times to try and find it in the warm ocean structures. No luck this time though. I did find a black cat at a village, and I had never seen one before, so I had to. Also, I got this orange tabby, okay? Look, being a cat lady is not a crime, but dragging this cat home in frigid waters, that was probably a crime. Since I had made a little detour to get all of my cats home, I took this as an opportunity to stop by the desert village near my house, and I also took a camel home. While I was home, I did a little more fine-tuning and decorating. I started making a bubble elevator for easier access to my spider spawner and my mine, because sometimes I just like making ridiculous projects, like a really fancy bubble elevator. I made this elevator with a few entrances and exits, one here for the bottom of the giant cave under my house, and one here for my spider spawner. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I found a wandering trader with actual good trades. I grabbed a cherry and a mangrove sapling. This blew my mind. I had to include it. This needed to be documented. I spent one more night at home before heading back out to the desert. It's time for business. So I've already looked at 2 desert wells and I have found nothing. No pottery. This is my 3rd desert well, and guess what? Only 2 blocks of suspicious sand and also no pottery. These wells are actually really difficult to find, and I am simply not going to spend another 20 hours trying to get 8 pottery sherds from these. So we will not be finding the arms up and brewer sherds. Just going to ignore the— Look! Another desert temple! After this temple, I had all the desert sherds I needed except for 2 skull sherds. And I must be in my lucky arc because at the next desert temple, every pottery sherd I found was a skull sherd. I found 3 of exactly what I needed. And finally, on my way home from the deserts, I stopped by a few warm ocean biomes to try and find the last pottery sherd. After about 4 or 5 more structures, I finally found it. The shelter Pottery Sherd. As I assembled the last few pots, I was so excited and relieved to have finally finished this project. Look, this is the last one. Can you believe it? This is the last one. I freaking did it. To help keep track of my progress, I had made a grid on the wall with cobblestone in the places of pots that I was missing. It felt so good to place the shelter pot and complete my collection. Except those two. We will not talk about those two. And that's how I made my collection of pottery. One made from each pottery sherd in Minecraft, except for the 2 that we will not talk about. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of this ridiculous journey that I sent myself on. If you've watched until the end, like the video and subscribe. Join my nerd club. You know you want to. You'll be a part of my first 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.